So we are back now with,
Daniel Horvath.
okay, and tell us a little bit about your research that you've conducted.
All right. So particularly with the book that we just presented here, uh, it started from a place of trying to understand the misogynistic and sometimes racist reaction to some of the newer movies that featured either women superhero or women in as central characters, or remakes of old franchises like Ghostbusters, Star Wars. And what we noticed was that there was an intense backlash to these movies and to these changes that had to do with gender and race. And so we're trying to make sense of that and understand these communities of hate that try basically to devalue women-centered cultural production.
Okay, and how long have you been researching that?
Well, this particular project has been in the works for the past, I think, 3 years. It actually started as a connection to my teaching. I teach media and public perception, and it's an entire class devoted to understanding how representations warp around issues of gender and race in very weird ways. So teaching that class made me sort of pay attention more to these kind of reactions, and so from that intersection, this project was born in collaboration with a few other colleagues.
Okay, and will you be continuing this research line along, like later on? Any changes or anything like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot. There's a lot to think about as we move forward, and I think I'm still interested in this type of project. Recently, there was a movie. I forgot the name of it. A Big Red or something like that, but a Disney movie, yes, featuring a young Asian girl, and immediately there was a review that said, unless you are a young Asian girl, this movie has nothing to offer you, and immediately triggered my instinct to study that. Yeah, so thinking about filmmakers, I think more and more, especially streamers and younger, yes, producers, younger generation, as they come into being, they clearly pay more attention to these issues, but we still have these sort of huge blockbusters that have problematic representations, or if they do have positive representation, we see this grassroots hatred sort of bubbling up on the internet. Right, with Ghostbusters, I don't know how many people remember, but when they switched the gender of the characters, so we had Ghostbusters with 4 women, there was a deliberate campaign to make it the most hated trailer in history. So there was a coordinated campaign. So we still have to fight against this kind of reaction.
Okay. And what would you like give advice to students or faculty who are trying to get into research or anything like that?
Yeah. For me, it's always passion, something that makes me either very happy or very upset. In this case, it was upset with this kind of reaction to movies that I enjoyed and I love. And I think that's a very powerful motivator to sustain you through the long process of doing research. I think an article usually takes about 2 years from when you start to when it gets published. You kind of get sick of that through this process. This book took 3 to 4 years. So you need that passion to sustain you. So that's my advice. Find that thing that moves you, because that you need that energy to move through these processes. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. We'll be right back.